Pounders, we are back doing what we do best, and that is putting $10 into the big board. Let's go. We have about 25 drafts left. There's a chance that we fill this tournament before the baby pops out. There's a chance. And we're going to keep that hope going. We did have a little smash prediction, a little retweet of our news. DJ Shark going to Carolina about 2 weeks ago today. I mean, it just seemed like a good spot for, the free agents at the time, DJ Shark. Clearly, there's a need in Carolina for receivers. So it's something that I figured I think it's going to be a good spot for him just based on this team is pretty light. Like Laviska Shenault, Terrace Marshall, Truthers, of course. We can't leave them out. But let's get into one of these big boards here. I don't think that we're really moving DJ Chark up or down or even Terrace Marshall. Like they're sort of going where they're going. Let's take a quick peek before we get into it. Marshall's going around 170, 176, and DJ Shark's going at 164. Like, am I putting him ahead of MVS where KC just lost Juju? Am I putting him ahead of Michael Gallup, Rashid Shaheed? Like, not really. I mean, they bring in Adam Thielen. They have DJ Shark, Terrace Marshall. I think you kind of leave him here. I am drafting him over Hunter Renfrow, over Chase Claypool. You can make the argument for Curtis Samuel or my man, Tyquan Thornton. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be much movement with that news. I don't know really if it's the best landing spot for him, but he should be serviceable. We're all assuming CJ Stroud does end up in Carolina. So Terrace Marshall truthers, maybe this hurts Terrace Marshall's upside just a tad. Now having to compete with old man Adam Thielen and DJ Chark now. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll see if anyone's doing anything crazy in Carolina. You also have Hayden Hurst over there now too as well. It's kind of muddy. Now that being said, DJ Shark can be serviceable, especially in best ball. Pull something up right here. I mean, he's 26 years old. He's turning 27 at the start of the season. So it's not like he's some dusty old man. Now, the injuries have been a problem for him. But again, you're getting him in this 160 range. I think if you've been drafting DJ Shark at this point, I think you're happy with this landing spot. So we'll sort of see where he goes. But I think everyone is ready. We got 14 people in the live chat. If you haven't already, drop a like on the live stream. Hit subscribe if you're new to the best ball content over here at the Pound, and hit the bell for notifications so you can jump in these live drafts with us like a bunch of D-gens. And the countdown begins. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're jumping in. Oh, and it fills just like that. And we get the 3 spot. Always lucky. Try again, Chump. Welcome to the live stream. Josh TX, always here as well. Rusty Maverick, name looks familiar. Let me know if you're in the chat. ER7, what's up, my dude? All right. And SM7817, I believe that's a pounder as well. JGFC, been drafting a lot with him lately. Let me know if you guys are in the chat. ER7 says, let's get it. Facey Dysfunctional, welcome, my man. Benjamin May has 28%. DJ Chark, and he seems to be hyped. Seems to be hypey. Ben, my man, swinging the wrench around in the chat. Be a good mod. Be a good mod, my friend. And let's see what comes to us at the 3 spot here. My favorite drafting positions so far are 1, 2, 3. And then I think 4, I've been going a lot of Tyreek Hill. So after 3, I would just rather the 6 spot, I believe. Been drafting A.J. Brown ahead of Stephon Diggs, especially if we get the news that DeAndre Hopkins, because this is the rumor on the street that D-Hop might be a Buffalo Soldier. So I think right now we can safely put A.J. Brown ahead of Diggs. Just small tweaks that we make to the rankings based on news. The unfaithful servant. That is a very specific name we got there. Look how long you can make your underdog name. It's basically a sentence. I think they have to nerf the names, at least so they fit on the screen. All right, so look at the badgeless people in here. Bunch of animals. I love it. A lot of new blood on Underdog. I think you're going to continue to see that this offseason. You're going to get the seasonal people back as well. Like when I think about fantasy football and my friends who would love best ball, but how many don't play yet is insane. There might be 3 out of the 12 in my league that play on Underdog right now. And they're like fantasy football committed. They don't talk to their wives for months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 badgeless folks here. 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 12. Just badgeless. Wild. Not that it means a whole lot, especially if you're paying attention. I would take someone paying attention to this stream without a badge over someone that has a 1K badge that doesn't watch any content at all. So bump down Diggs a couple of spots and bump up D-Hop. That is what I'm doing right now. Now, I'm not going crazy with it. Now, Diggs, I just think I'm putting A.J. Brown ahead of him. I've been drafting Tyreek Hill ahead of Kelsey. I think I've moved Cup up a couple spots in my rankings as well. So it really looks like Hill at 4, A.J. Brown at 5, Cup, and then Kelsey at 7. It's just something small. What if Davis being sent packing in D-Hop? I don't think Gabe Davis would be sent over there. I mean, you already have Marquise Brown that sort of plays like they run similar routes. But who knows? Could happen. It could happen. A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen. We got a couple double RB starts here. Look at Breece Hall going to 15. Trying to get a little different, I'm assuming, in this range at 34. Trying to get a stack that you otherwise can't unless you reach. So that's interesting. Let me see if Breece Hall. The only problem with this is at 25, when you draft him here at 15 and he goes at 25, is there a chance that he's fallen to 34 before? And I just believe there is, especially with Bijan, because Bijan has gone in this 18 range. So Breece Hall would only have to fall to 31 then from 25, and that's definitely happened. That's happened this week. So this Bijan Breece Hall start, you could actually get here with Stephon Diggs. It's not going to be my favorite start there. We're on the clock, and we're just going to go Waddle here. We're getting him how many picks after ADP? 4.5. So maybe get us a little different there. We see Olave go before Waddle. I'm fine with that. I don't think it's that crazy. See, like when you have 2 names back to back, you can't even see. It's kind of weird. They have to nerf the amount of characters. Maybe we get nerfed. Who knows? Josh TX goes Devonta Smith to bring in with Jamar Chase. I love that start. That seems like one of those starts that's like sort of how can you go wrong? See what try again, Chomp. He brings it all the way down to triple zeros. He goes DK though. DK over T Higgins. $35. Okay. He's going to bring it all the way down again. Going to bring it all the way down. Going to make a sweat. Let's see. Max Sauce, what's up, my man? Welcome to the live stream. Says, what's good, fellas? I mean, we're drafting, so it's beautiful. It's a beautiful day. You think the big board fills by next weekend? No, I don't think so. Oh, we almost get TT here. We're going to go ahead and reach up for D-Hop. Getting him at 27, so we'll pull him down the board a little bit. It's really not that big of a reach. We're reaching over, what, 2 receivers? No. D-Hop is officially cleared Amari Cooper. So we're only reaching over 1 receiver to get him. And it might allow us to get different with this combo right here. Like, who has CMC, Jalen Waddle, DeAndre Hopkins when D-Hop's usually going in this typical range right here? So I think that's an easy way to get different. And we're getting, I mean, if you do get the news that he's going to Buffalo, where do we put DeAndre Hopkins? Because he's going in the 2nd round. And I mean, in Buffalo, it's sort of like the AJ Brown, Devonta Smith. You know, you're going to have Diggs and D-Hop. So we'll see if it happens. We did have an interesting start the other day where we got CMC at 4 and then Josh Allen and D-Hop at 28. Try all these sort of different things. And we try to beat the news. If you can draft before the news breaks, I mean, you have to be able to identify where the value would be, though. Like, if D-Hop does end up in Buffalo, where would the value be? Like, you could probably put him in this 15 range, like, very easily. So I don't mind being overweighted on D-Hop for these next couple days. See Judy go at 39. With Drake London. JGFC just going and getting his guys. Debo, we see fall to 38 here. Interesting. Huge run at running back. We see Ramondre Stevenson go here at 25 too. That's also not typical. 3 running back followed by tight end start. Bold. That's bold. Look at these teams scooping RBs. We're definitely going receiver here. Yeah, we don't have Higgins. We don't have Chase. So count me out on Joe Burr. See what Faithful Servant wants to do. Get a little coffee. Just running through the veins now. Nice. All right. We're going to go Christian Watson here. Let's bring in Christian Watson. We're shooting for upside. We are shooting for upside. We're up in a few picks. Now, I'm just not interested in Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow unless we have one of the elite pass catchers. Sure, you can stack them late. Just doesn't feel as good because of the premium you're paying for them right now. See Joe Burrow go at 47. That's how you know it's a Pounders draft. Lamar Jackson at 48. Definitely was on the radar for a pick at 51. If he plays in Baltimore next year, where would his ADP be, right? Like, he should be going closer to Justin Fields. But, like, Justin Fields, this ADP is wrong, too, in my opinion. If you have these 3 elite QBs going here, I have Justin Fields, like, at this 28 spot. I think Lamar should be going closer to this 3-4 turn, especially when you want upside for these deep tournaments. I mean, it's not much upside, not much more upside than the guy who finished as the MVP 2 seasons ago. JSN interesting pick. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Kittle here. We get a little San Francisco correlation. And we don't have a ton of Kittle. I am addicted to drafting some of these receivers in this range, like Tyler Lockett, who finished as wide receiver 13 last year, coming off the board as wide receiver 33 now. Tyler just put a short out on it. So like he doesn't even have to repeat last season to outpay his ADP. Like he can do 75% of last season, and this would be the correct ADP for him. And I mean, there was a great connection. Him and Geno, 72% completion rate. He is another year older, but he's not like his body doesn't take the same amount of hits as someone his age. Maxos has a nice value on Waddle. Depends where D-Hop goes. His potential landing spots could be trash too. Yeah, like one of those spots that everyone was talking about was the Patriots, but after they bring in Juju, it's seeming less likely that they'll go ahead and get DeAndre Hopkins. That's my opinion. Maxos says, I'm going to draft right now with JGFC. Yes, he is a monster. He or she, exactly. Like always drafting. Marquise Brown moves up as well. Yeah, exactly. 100%. The more that we get the news like closer and closer to D-Hop leaving, like you should be drafting assuming that he is. And then if he doesn't get moved, then you slow down and you level out your exposures, but you want to stay ahead of it rather than trying to catch up to the value. We have 13% Marquise Brown. We have 15% D-Hop. Now, this is the earliest I've taken him, but also I just think you get different by pulling him up the board a little bit and getting him with the different combination, especially when Waddle falls 4 or 5 picks here. Like that's going to be a different combo that not a lot of people will have. Artie, what's up, my man? Welcome to the live stream. See Jahmyr Gibbs go at 63. A little 0-3-2-1 build. I like the Treylon Burks reach up. That's like a super sharp pick by ER7 in my opinion. We'll see if Mike Evans has anything left in the tank. If he does, I mean, it makes sense for this build where he's your first receiver off the board. You're praying he does. Hopefully this team just picks like 7 receivers in a row, 5 receivers in a row at least. Artie says, good afternoon, kind sir and fellow pounders. How we doing, fellas? Ladies and gents. Ben says, DJ Chark, 18%, 8th most drafted wide receiver, and he seems excited about it. Swinging the wrench around in the chat. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good landing spot for him. There's going to be growing pains. Oh, a little reach up there. I like it. Like, I actually do. We were going to be looking at him on our next pick, but that was a good snipey snipe. Running backs, like I'm probably Dobbins over these guys in this range. Yeah, let's go Dobbins here. We're up in 4 picks. So CMC, J.K. Dobbins, Jalen Waddle, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Watson, George Kittle. Got it off the board. Perfect. We want the tight ends off the board. Try again, Chunt with Lamar, Ramondre, Jefferson, DK, Chris Godwin. Like also super strong start. Burrow at 47, Chase, Devonta Smith, T. Higgins. Ooh, this is beautiful. He gets the double, and he gets Joe Burrow going at 47, which is where his ADP should be. But I mean, the first, how much? Like 30, 40% of drafters was getting Burrow in the 3rd round. So getting him in the 4th is just really good value. Get a nice little edge over those early drafters that were overpaying for Joe Burrow. Perfect. So we do get a receiver of our choice. And for this specific build, I don't really want to go floor plays. I just think Deontay Johnson is going to be a floor play here. So let's go ahead and bring in Jahan Dotson. Benjamin May, 26% Shark, 30% Hop, 28% Marquise Brown. I love that. Alec Pierce, 28%. Let's go. Let's go. Bunch of sickos in the chat. That's what we like to see, though. That's what we like to see. Swift off the board at 76. So he's got Pollard and Swift, 4 strong receivers. He's got Deshaun Watson. I don't think Njoku falls back to him at 93. We'll see. Going around 102 right now. Did see Marquise Goodwin signed a 1-year deal with the Browns today. That seems just like a depth chart ad, but maybe you mix him in the 20th round with your Deshaun Watson. So just something to think about. We see Johnson go at pick 80. That's perfect for his squad. Deontay Johnson's going to have a nice floor again this season. I mean, he should fall into the end zone 3-4 times. Getting 0 touchdowns last year was extremely unlucky. Touchdowns are the hardest stat to predict, so. But just on usage alone, he should be able to get into the end zone a few times. Eckler, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, not selecting his first receiver till the 6th round. We'll see how this team comes out. I like these 2 receivers for this build because, I mean, like Mike Evans, if he does smash, if he has another 1,000-yard season, which is possible, maybe he should be going closer to the 4th, 5th, like this range. So we'll see how this build comes out. Anyone doing anything crazy? Josh Allen and Dak Prescott, don't mind that. Ben says poker tourney mentality. You got to make the EV plays for first, not for the hand. You don't like my round 1 players exposure though, Art. Yeah, if you do put it in poker context, that's my favorite. That's how we started our gambling. Pasta nights, hockey in high school, playing poker. Plus, I had a brother that was 7 years older than me, so I was watching him play online poker, party poker, like the original online, when I was 11 and he was 18. So I grew up playing poker. Tyler Algier off the board at 91. Njoku. Oh, shit. Okay. He does get him. And I'm looking at Tua right here just to bring in a QB at this point. Let's bring in Tui. So super balanced start for us. Get a little more coffee in there, you know what I mean? Super balanced. I love this running back range, though. Like, this is the ideal range to want and need running backs. Like, to already have 5 receivers. Sure, you can have your elite tight end. That's also fine. But I just love picking running backs in this range. Khalil Herbert, Zach Charbonnet, James Conner. And then I think there's a slight fall off after A.J. Dillon, in my opinion. If you want to add Alexander Madison into that, I'm fine with that as well. Especially until we find out what happens with Dalvin Cook. But again, guys, think about it as like stocks, right? You want to get in at ADPs at all different times. You want to be ahead of the news. You don't want to buy the stock only when it's doing good. You want to do it. You want to buy when it's doing bad, right? So before it gets that good news, so you make the profit on it. So you get the better exposure, the better ADP. But this is only the first tournament of the off season. Like if you missed out value on a player and it's so extreme, like Anthony Richardson, where you could have got him in the 20th round and now you have to select him in the 13th or 14th. It's okay. If you missed it, sometimes you could say, All right, I'm going to make the small bet that player I'm going to fade now because I don't want to pay the premium. We're going to bring in Trey Lance here with CMC and George Kittle real quick. So you make that small bet and you fade them, and then maybe in the next tournament when everyone resets, all the ADPs, everyone's on a level playing field, maybe that's when you get exposure to that player. So you're not completely fading them for the whole season, but you're not paying that ridiculous premium where you missed the value. I want Lance. You are not getting him. I actually like this 2 QB combo. Now it's risky, but I think if we had to, we could stop at 2 QBs here. In 18-round drafts, I would 100% stop at 2 QBs here. In 20-round drafts, we'll sort of see who's there. We'll see who's there. Artie says, I started gambling about a year ago. I have a lot to learn. What better way to start it than playing some best ball? See a little run at running back here. ER7 on the clock. Goes Jacoby. You already have Josh Allen and Dak. You do not need another QB. You do not need another QB. Trust me when I say it. So we're picking at 118 and 123. So if we just sort of go to this range, just start to identify, and you can have people that fall as well, but start to identify a little plan, what you would do. And then make sure you don't tell it to the whole live stream because they will snipe you. They will snipe you. I'm telling you, it's happened before. Ben says, but my team is nasty. Sort of. Oh, you're talking about last night. That a little different last night. You know, when you just try to get into like one of those late nights drafts without any of the pounders, you're like, all right, I'm going to smash this one. And then you get in it and like TB Bucks is there, Ben's there. It's like, what the heck are you guys doing up at 3 a.m.? Now, everyone's in different parts of the world. So I'm East Coast. So it's 3 p.m. here right now. Oh my God, I love this. Artie, my first time playing fantasy ever was 2 years ago, and here I am putting $1,500 into a best ball tournament. Let's go. All right, so we got a couple receivers falling here with Mooney, and I'd be very surprised if he doesn't go DPJ with Deshaun Watson. Be very surprised. He goes Gino Lino to pair with Tyler Lockett. I'm still in on DPJ. I'm actually in on Mooney as well. I don't really think the additions hurt these players. Let's go DPJ here with Deshaun Watson. Just a gut feeling. We're getting him 6 picks after ADP, but I like Mooney too. Like bringing in DJ Moore, I really think is going to help Mooney become like he's going to be a better number 2 than he will be a number 1. I think he'll get closer to this 1,000-yard season this year. I bet he ends up around 900. And this offense, you can kind of predict that they're going to be in the red zone more often as well. After that slow start to last season, too, for the Chicago Bears, they're starting to figure it out near the back end. Mooney goes at 120, followed by Madison. We were going to be looking at a Madison there. Let's see if Josh lets us do our exposure smooth out pick. And I'm checking my exposures on him right now. Yeah. Let's see if he lets us do it. He goes Tyler Boyd. I think we make the exposure smooth out pick here of Alan Lazard. I don't have a lot of him, but now that we have the news that Elijah Moore is no longer in New York, Alan Lazard was asked to do too much last year. Too much. And he couldn't do it, right? He couldn't prove to be the number one receiver in Green Bay. He's not going to be asked to be the number one receiver in New York. That's going to be Garrett Wilson. That's going to be, the defensive scheme will be around Garrett Wilson. Alan Lazard, I think, will be a good number two. I want more Lazard at this ADP before this tournament is over. Because that is my second share of Alan Lazard. And again, does he have touchdown upside? Does he have upside for, even a 2-touchdown game? I mean, I think he does with Rodgers. So having 1%, or I think it even shows up as 0%. It's probably not the best. It's not the best. And I have a ton of Sky Moore. Like, I'm typically going Sky Moore there. But I think that range is actually fine from where we selected him. Boyd was off the board. Like, when you think of a 1-week basis, on a 1-week basis, week 17, can Alan Lazard outscore Sky Moore? Can he outscore Zay Jones? Can he outscore Josh Palmer? Like, that's all he has to do is outscore these players in one week. If that player can do it, KJ Osborne, all these players can outscore each other. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why you kind of want to smooth out your exposures a little bit. So maybe I shouldn't have 0%. Maybe I should have around like 3 or 4% of this player. If they have the ability to outscore the players going around them in tournament play, where so much is focused on week 17 on 1 week, that's why you kind of smooth out your exposures a little bit. All right, so now we can sort of catch up on RB here. Wide receiver room's looking juiced. Kittle at tight end. I mean, we're strong at QB, in my opinion, if they can stay healthy. We have the San Fran correlation. We have the Miami correlation. RBs are looking pretty good, headlined by CMC. Is having James Cook and Harris together a bad idea? No, I really don't think so. I really don't think so. Because it's so hard to predict, right? Now, week 16, let's say James Cook has a really bad game. And most of the people that drafted James Cook might not have Damian Harris because they're worried about, the handcuff idea. If you handcuff, you're limiting your upside. A lot of people say. But let's say James Cook has a really bad week 16. He doesn't spike into any lineups, but Damian Harris gets you there and he pushes you ahead to week 17. And then James Cook has a big week 17. Well, most of those teams that had James Cook week 16 were knocked out potentially. So his exposure will be less in week 17. So no, I think both those players are serviceable in that offense on any given week. Yeah, this team's dead. This team, max 7, truck 7, he stopped drafting wide receivers. He has 2 receivers. So thank you, sir, for paying the rake. You could file that on your tax returns next year. Nice, healthy donation to the pound. It's now an 11-person tournament. Move on. Big old sip of coffee there. I think we're going to bring in Antonio Gibson. Let me know, guys. Like, are you drafting? If you had Gibson and Brian Robinson right next to each other, would you draft Gibson over Brian Robinson if they were going right next to each other? Like, based on what I saw last year and the efficiency of touches between Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson, it wasn't even close. And Antonio Gibson is going to be the third down guy. Now, yeah, he has the fumbling issues, which is not great, but he's been punished for those. And then he was brought back and he did better. Yes, Lee, me every day in the shower thinking about what I'm going to do with the 200K in January. Well, first, you're going to pay about 30% to Mr. Joey B. He might take an extra 5% because, government. We see Shark go at 145, but he gets the little CJ Stroud. I'm fine with it because he probably won't be there on the way back. So if you really wanted it, sure, go ahead. Yeah, you're picking at the one spot. So this range is this range is ugly. Like, this is where it gets pretty ugly, in my opinion. We can go Love here. We're strong at wide receiver. Like, I don't feel the need to push a receiver. I don't really feel the need to grab one of these three guys. I know people are probably screaming A-Chain from the rafters right now, but we'll bring in Jordan Love. We already have Kittle, so we technically only have to go 2 tight ends, but again, I'm going to be more apt to do that in the 18-round drafts versus the 20. It's arguably the easiest position to hit on in the 20th round because these players are going to be on the field. Some of these receivers we're drafting in the 20th. It's funny. Like, some of them won't even be on teams. Okay. Ben has B-Rob over Gibson, Monty over Swift. Max says Gibson was better. I don't like either. Government trying to take all of it. Yeah, dude. Why do you think we still have this sitting in our account? We'll take some out eventually. Gonna all be spent on diapers. Sick. Sick. Guys, do me a favor. If you haven't already, drop a like in the live stream if you're enjoying the stream so far. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already one of the pounders, and the bell for notifications getting these live drafts with us. Let's go. See Thielen go at 151. Wan'Dale Robinson falling to 149. I mean, for this team, I'm done at receiver after this pick, 100%. So if we go 3 QB, 3 tight end, we'll probably stop. I mean, we definitely can't go 9 receivers. We'll probably stop at 5 or 6 running backs, 7, 8 receivers. Sort of the build that's in my mind right now. We're up in 9 picks. Team's got Lawrence and Kirk, followed by JT, Isaiah Pacheco, Raheem Mostert. Strong at receiver. Strong at tight end, especially if they add a third. We got the correlation with Calvin Ridley, Trevor Lawrence, and Ingram, and Zay Jones after ADP, this is around the range I start to think about Zay Jones is in the 130s. I just think early in these tournaments when he was going at like 105, 110, it's like, what is happening? Especially they re-signed Ingram. They bring in Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk. They're going to get ETN a fair amount of carries. Now they signed Jonas Johnson too, who's going to be that change of pace back for first and second down. Zay Jones going a little too early for my liking. We see Tim Patrick pop off at 161 to this team that's just refusing to draft wide receivers, so that's fine. That's fine. How fabricated are Sean Tucker's times that he posted on Twitter? He's someone that didn't participate in the combine, but then put out his own video smashing everyone else's numbers. See Jalen Warren go at 165 here. That's a small reach, to say the least. Do we take a small chance on him anyways? I want one of these two running backs. Let's just bring in Sean Tucker. I might still go Rashawn Johnson if our receiver isn't there. We're up in 4 picks. Josh TX and Try Again Chump both in the live stream. So they're making us sweat a little bit here. See Michael Mayer go off the board with the Dallas Goedert team. It's really nice. He's got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase with T. Higgins and Boyd. So I think that does kind of limit the upside for week 17 a little bit. Obviously, like the chances that all 3 of them smash are going to be, that'll be extremely low. Try Again Trump goes MVS, who I think is back on our radar now after they trade away Juju. I think this ADP for him is really good now. Now, I don't think he's a great receiver, but there's going to be opportunity, especially at this ADP who's left. See Likely go at 169. Holy smokes. 27 picks before ADP. Really wanted that correlation. Curtis Samuel off the board. All right, let's bring in our guy, Tyquan Thornton. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we still need to catch up a little bit at running back. We're done at receiver now. So we need one more tight end minimum. If we go 2 tight ends, then we'll end off with 7 running backs. So it'd be a 3-7-7-3 build, which I think is going to be the correct way to go. Because Kittle can have those games where he pops off, right? But he can also have those games where he's just a blocker. So the more onesie positions that you select as well, the harder it is to advance because you're using draft capital at a position where you can only start one player. Now, that's especially true at QB. Tight ends can pop off into the flex. But once you go from 3 tight ends to 4, especially in these 20-round drafts, in the 18-round drafts, it's more thinking 2 tight ends to 3 for draft capital wise. It lowers your chance to advance. But there is an advantage of being in week 17 with multiple tight ends just because of the position and the variance of how much they score. If you go back and look at week 17 last year, like Trey McBride, I think was like the 2nd highest scoring tight end. There's a bunch of random tight ends in there. Logan Thomas was up there. Yeah, Shark just went 14 picks ahead of ADP in your draft. A lot of people are going to reach for him to get the CJ Stroud stack as well. I really don't hate it for the range he's in anyways. He is going to be one of those spike week type players. It's a matter of can he stay healthy. Can he stay healthy? 1 like away from the double digits. Like away from 10. Oh, thank you guys. Kittle. Who do we want to bring in with Kittle? We're up in 6 picks. Okay, we like that. We're just looking at running backs and tight ends right now. Bigsby off the board. Hunter Renfrow goes at 185. That's a little more stomachable now at 185 versus 168, in my opinion. Uh, would you want less teams to advance but have more dangerous teams in the finals, or is it about bringing as many to the dance? Well, you want as many in week 17 as possible. That's 100% true. You also want to make sure that if you're drafting the same way every single time, that's how you can really get a lot of your teams knocked out in one single week. Now, it only takes one lineup to win it all. So you have to let me put it this way. The person who won BBM4, the highest scoring team, weeks 1 through 14, excuse me, King Cap, who won $1 million for having the highest scoring team out of 452,000 lineups, was knocked out in the first week of playoffs. So I would argue he had the most dangerous team, right? He had the number one scoring lineup out of 450,000 lineups. So you want as many as possible. He says Marquise Goodwin to the Browns. Yeah, 1-year deal. Be a little interesting stackaroo in the 20th round for your Deshaun Watson stacks. So arguably, he was the best drafter that year, that season. So it takes luck as well. We need to catch up a little bit at running back here, and it's thinning out. I just wanted Kincaid for this squad. Because is there a chance that Miami drafts a tight end? I mean, I think so. So I think it's interesting to get these teams where you have the QBs that need a tight end. Jordan Love, Green Bay. They just got rid of Tunyon. Miami just let Jasecki walk. So now we have this Kincaid pick where he can go to two teams, and it's looking good for this roster. I think I'm just going to bring in Michael Carter here. Handcuffed to Brees Hall. Who do you like better, McCasey or Dearness Johnson? Oh, you're talking about Jermichael. Yeah, I mean, who has the higher upside between the two? It's tough. If ETN goes down, Dearness Johnson's going to take first and second down. Jermichael Hasty will take third down. So they're going to limit each other. Now that Dearness Johnson goes to Jacksonville, like I'm not taking Jermichael Hasty anymore in the 20th round. If I had to pick one, I would say Dearness Johnson for half point PPR will have the touchdown upside in the red zone. If you have a knife to my neck, I will say Dearness Johnson. Half point PPR touchdowns are going to be the focus. So we need one more tight end and two more running backs. I think that is going to be the go-to. That is going to be the go-to. 3772. Jarris Johnson goes to 204. As we're talking about him. Chase Brown goes to 203. There he is. Deontay Hardy. A lot of people have been drafting Deontay Hardy lately. But when they bring in Trent Sherfield, I think they're going to limit each other. Terrace Marshall at 197. That's an absolute steal. I mean, 20 something picks after ADP. I'm just wondering why Try Again Chump doesn't go Terrace Marshall here instead of Robert Woods when you have CJ Stroud. Very interesting. Very interesting. 20 something picks after ADP with correlation kind of seems like a smash pick to me. But he does bring in Hayden Hurst at 192, so maybe he didn't want too many Carolina Panthers on the same team. And that would be understandable. See Chuba off the board. Definitely was someone that we're going to be interested in there. Let's see. We have one rookie on this team. I wouldn't mind taking a shot on another rookie. Who do we have for tight ends left? Yeah, we have to go tight end here. I think there's just an extreme drop off after Henry. We already have one rookie, so we don't want to have to bring in a second rookie here. Let's bring in Hunter Henry. I think there's a little too much overreaction to Gesicki in this New England offense. Hunter Henry, you're selecting him here in the 19th round for his touchdown upside. 18th, 19th round, same. The back end of the 18th. It's for his touchdown upside. All right, so we're going one of these. I don't love. See what Josh wants to do. I don't love bringing in James Robinson here. Excuse me. Already having Tyquan Thornton and Hunter Henry. Let's bring in the rookie. Fantasy dysfunctional. I swear I drafted with JGFC earlier and his team looks almost identical. Yeah, I mean, you can get into these swings of just drafting the same way. And when you're reaching on these players, like he's reaching on Bijan, he's reaching a lot on Brees Hall, he's reaching on Drake London. You will end up with an identical team if you're constantly reaching on players. Now, this isn't a reach, but Daniel Jones is a reach. So let's see. Most of these players he's reached on. We'll look at it at the end. I hate how Underdog doesn't let you just lock it. Like select a team and just lock this. How hard is that? One small complaint. All right. E.T. Perry goes off the board at 226. We're up in 11 picks. And our last pick's going to be, I think it has to be a running back. Benjamin May asks thoughts on CJ Johnson. I mean, where's he going in here? I don't think he's even drafted, right? He's not really being drafted. I don't know. These late wide receivers, it's tough. My go-to guy, like I have a few down here. I've been beating the drum on Bryce Ford Wheaton for a while. Trey Palmer's fine, but like you really want Cedric Tillman, Rushy Rice. You really don't want these guys that are playing all the way through their senior year. You want to see an early declare. You want to see an early breakout year like the sophomore season. If it's a freshman season, now you're talking about some of these high-class rookies that are going much earlier in the drafts. But sometimes I like to just bet on athleticism, right? Freakish measurables. And that's going to be Bryce Ford Wheaton. He's 6'3", 6'4", runs a super fast 40. He's someone that I'm trying to pick up in the 20th round every single time. Because like Tyquan Thornton, no one had him going in the second round. The Patriots reach above George Pickens for Tyquan Thornton, and it's because of those measurables, because of how fast of a 40 he ran. Do I really want James Robinson here? I mean, he fell to 238 now. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. It's either him or CEH at this point. Does anyone draft Bryce Ford Wheaton after I talk about him? No, not yet. You see Parker Washington. Like, if you look up Bryce Ford Wheaton's RAS score, it's like 9.97 out of a 10. He absolutely crushed the combine. The thing that is worrisome is his production. I like A.T. Perry. Let's see. Let's pull this up. Like, Bryce Ford Wheaton is 6'4", 221, and he runs a 4.38 40-yard dash. He has elite numbers almost all the way across the board. It's just the production in college isn't there. So you have to find out why. But again, if he ends up on the right team and they see these measurables and they can use him in a way that can put him in good situations, hell yeah. Daniel Weiss, welcome to the live stream, my man. I appreciate the kind words. Really do. Go get that baseball. Yeah, if you want good baseball channeling, the guys over at Badge Bros are great. Yes, I like this idea. You go into a player and you click on them, like, and it shows you all the teams you drafted them on. I think it'd also be interesting to be able to search two players at once. Like, if you wanted to search, all right, how many stacks of Daniel Jones and Darren Waller do I have? Being able to search like two players would be cool. See how many teams you have that stack. I think that'd be interesting as well. But I mean, again, like, the app is relatively new. Personally, I think he says Perry is Wheaton with the production. Okay. Spike Week can do that, but you have to pay for it. So maybe it's worth it. Maybe it's not. If you're doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of drafts, yeah, you could argue that probably is worth it. It's going to be a monthly subscription though. That's another good channel. Spike Week, Splash Play. All those channels are great. Shout out to those fellas over there doing their thing, grinding as well. If you haven't already, you guys enjoyed the live stream, please drop a like on the way out. Really appreciate everyone's support coming out every single day. This is stream 34 of the last 35 days. We've been live almost every single day. We're going to continue to do it until the baby pops out. That's the way it goes. Yeah, we probably have been. I did like 497 drafts last season. We are going to blow that out of the water this year. But yeah, guys, really do appreciate it. Drop a like on the way out of the door, and we'll see you again on the next one. Pounders.